Okay, so I got this story handed down to me from a viewer, and I thought I'd cover this because this just goes to show how desperate people are anymore to bring people in to their batshit insane politics, even when it comes to indoctrinating children. It's pretty disgusting, and I'm going to have a couple of things to say after this. This comes from CBS News. Pro-Trump company selling Lego-like build-the-wall toy ahead of Christmas. Well, isn't that special? A conservative website is selling a Lego-like toy called Build the Wall, which includes small building blocks meant to signify President Trump's proposed border wall. The controversial toy is part of Keep and Bear's MAGA toy line that promotes pro-Trump messages. The company provided a politically loaded description of the 101-piece toy set, starting off with the exaggerated claim that a mob of 10,000 Central American migrants is marching through Mexico and heading towards El Paso, Texas, even though they are. We understand why they want to flee Honduras and live and work in America. After all, we are the greatest nation on earth. In the interest of national security, however, we cannot just allow anyone and everyone to cross our borders. While there are good people attempting to enter our nation, there are also gangs, criminals, and terrorists. Everyone who wants to enter our country must enter legally for the safety of all. The wall must be built. The wall will keep America safe and strong. Well, unless, of course, they have a ladder. Only then will we be able to help those in need. We are pleased to announce the launch of a brand new line of toys, MAGA building blocks. This toy makes a great Christmas gift for your kids or grandkids. Orders for the toy begin shipping on November 23rd, but it has already sparked debate on social media. Of course it has. New MAGA building blocks, which look a lot like Legos, urge kids to build the wall. And as racist as this is to some, please know there are plenty of parents in America who will see this and buy it for their kids. Also, a conservative website that offers up pro-Trump and pro-Second Amendment merchandise is now taking orders for a MAGA building block set that encourages children to build the wall. What a great way for bigoted parents to raise bigoted kids. Now, okay, first, of course they're going to call them racist. Of course they are, because that's the only words. It's a leftist buzzword to say racist. It doesn't mean anything anymore. This is one of those cases where this is another word that they've used up. They've said it so much, so often to so many people who aren't being racist that it just doesn't mean anything anymore to anyone, because it doesn't really mean anything to the people saying it anymore. They don't even know what it means. All it means is that you said something in relation to a person who isn't white that I don't like, therefore you're a racist. And so, of course, that's what they're going to throw out there is racism. And it's just damaging the word. The word racist is not going to mean anything anymore. It already doesn't in most cases. So this whole thing with, oh, you're a racist because blah, 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 it's over. It doesn't work anymore. It's over. The name of the show is called Reality Check, okay? And here's why, because we're going to do that right now. And I want you to listen very carefully to this and kind of comprehend this, okay? Fact number one, everyone south of the border of the United States, all the way down to the tip of Chile, within spitting distance of fucking Antarctica, is some shade of brown. Okay? That is a fact. There are no white communities. The only people that are white down there are people who came from here and went down there because they wanted to. Second fact, a lot of the people that are south of us, they're in pretty bad conditions. Their governments are corrupt. They can't find work. They're living in poverty. Okay. The third fact, some of those people are trying to come over and jump over our wall illegally. They're trying to actually enter the United States without proper permission, without going through the proper legal process. And let me remind everybody, fact number 4, every country on earth has an immigration process. Every country on earth has a border that is enforced. Okay? That's a fact. None of these facts, none of these things were actually decided by the United States. None of them were. They weren't decided by racists. Nobody in the American government said, let there be brown people south of us and let them be poor and in poverty, and then we'll build a wall so we can keep them out. Nobody fucking did that. Okay, this is just a fact. It's a natural fact that is just there. It's happening. America had nothing to do with the conditions that are going on south of our border. That's fact. That's another fact. So, calling them racists when most of the people that I know I've talked, and I talked to people right, left, and center about this, most of the people I know who support building the wall are people who simply support the idea that we need to enforce our border. Because whether or not you like it, I know there's a lot of people out there who try to say that it's so unfair because they're not being treated fairly because they're being separated from their families. And no, they're being treated exactly fairly. There's no place you can go in the United States where if you commit a crime, you're not going to be separated from your family. The whitest person, Whitey McWhiterton from Tennessee, can steal a pickup truck and plow through a line of nuns at a crosswalk. And you know what? He's going to be arrested, sent to jail, and separated from his family. That is the way it works in America with everyone. This isn't just happening to brown people at the border. This has nothing to do with racism. And most people on the right simply want the border to be enforced just like any other law in America. Now, what some people want on the left, because they don't often think with their brain, they think with their feelings, so they don't think ahead. What some people on the left want, I'm not going to say a lot because I don't think it's everybody. I'm leftist, by the way. So what some people on the left want is for these people to be able to hop the fence illegally, no paperwork, no signing up, no actually going through the immigration process, and just to be let go. Just let them go. Let them go in America. Let them go and do what they want. But then they don't think further. And then what? What then? Because you have to remember, these people, they don't have homes anymore. They don't have a place to go to. They don't have jobs. They don't have money. And they're going to wind up living in a homeless tent city somewhere, starving. The people who are yelling about this border wall being wrong, a lot of them have trouble finding a job in the United States, and they were born here. What do you think it's going to be like for the people who come over here? They're going to wind up in terrible conditions. And then you're going to complain. They're the same people who are complaining that there's a wall to try and keep these people out are going to complain that now these people are on the streets. If they get over and they get let in, which is it? Which do you want? So enough with this racism bullshit. Not everybody who supports the wall is a racist. I personally, I'm my feelings on the wall, I don't know about it. I think that, people who come over to this country thinking that it's the land of milk and honey are in for a big fucking surprise because, people here are suffering. The people here are, we can't find jobs. We don't get health care. We don't get education. We don't get this stuff. And an immigrant's going to come over here. Well, they've actually got a better chance because the government does dole out a lot of effort and a lot of support for immigrants rather than Americans who are born here. But it's still going to be very, very hard for them. And will it be harder than where they came from? Who knows? But when talking with them, and there's been a lot of interviews with people who are on the caravan here, most people that were interviewed said that they're coming here because they can't find a job. They want to find a job. That's not grounds for refugee. That's not grounds for asylum, is you need to find a job. That's not grounds for that. So many of them, the ones who are just looking for work, they're going to be turned away because that's not a legal grounds for asylum. So while I can understand, I guess, the emotionality of the people on the left, because the people on the left are very, very motivated by the media. And the media loves to show crying children that are separated from their families, children in cages, when they don't actually say that the cages that they're in are border patrol stations, which they're not legally allowed to be kept there for more than 48 hours. They don't say that, of course. They don't say that they are then transferred to a nice facility with beds where they get, medical treatment and video games and physical exercise and even psychological treatment. They get computers, they get communications, telephone calls, and food. And they don't mention that part. They don't mention that the kids that are separated from their families actually have it better than homeless Americans who were born here. That's the part the media doesn't like to talk about because a lot of it's liberal. But the fact is, most people on the right who support the wall, they just, what they're really doing is they just want to support the law. They want the law to be fair and equal for everyone. Because if you let people from south of the border, brown people, as the left likes to say, right people, the people on the right hate brown people. If you let those quote unquote brown people in, and they have now, they jumped the wall illegally and now they have committed a crime. If you just let them go, how's that fair? How's that being fair and impartial? It's not. In fact, it would be racist to let them go because they're brown. They got to go to jail when they commit a crime, just like everyone else in America. That's the way it works in this country. You don't like it, go someplace else. Go someplace where they don't have a border, which there isn't a place like that, and where they don't arrest people for jumping over the border illegally, which if there is a place like that, I don't know about it. There probably isn't very many. Anyway, that's the first thing I had to say. Now, in contrast to that, I also have to say this. I find it really disgusting that people are indoctrinating children into political bullshit now. This should not happen. This toy should be lined up against the wall, shot, and then burned in a dumpster. Okay? This thing should not exist. There should never be a situation where we're having to indoctrinate children through the use of toys, by the way, into supporting a certain team, a certain political team. That should be considered child abuse. I think indoctrinating children into any belief system should be considered child abuse. And that's just, what are you doing to your kids? You're not going to let them make up their own minds? You're going to give them a toy to manipulate them into later feeling like, whoa, I grew up with these toys, so I should always vote Republican. And what the hell is that? That's psycho, insane bullshit. Now, I'm fairly certain, because if you look at the face on the Trump figure in this thing, it's very iconically Trumpist. He's even got the mouth with I can't do the Trump mouth. I can't do it. I try, can't do the Trump mouth. But it's got that. It's obviously overly exaggerated. I think a lot of people are going to buy this toy because they're going to be adults and they find it funny. Probably going to be a lot of people on the right who find this thing amusing, and they're going to buy it just to keep it on the shelf and, and look at it every now and then and laugh. But for the people who actually do plan to give this to children to try and indoctrinate them, you are sick people. That's some sick, twisted bullshit right there. That should not happen. Don't indoctrinate your children into this. Let them make up their own minds. For God's sake, this isn't a kind of a brainwashing type of country where we have to brainwash our kids into believing a certain thing or another. That's terrible. America is supposed to be about free thinking, free expression, free speech, and you're going to indoctrinate a kid from an early age with toys into voting for people that they may not otherwise agree with later in life. That's pretty damn sick, and that shouldn't happen. That's my second thing that I had to say about this. But yeah, this goes to show, this is why I'm a centrist, because I'm surrounded by idiots. On the left of me, I've got whiny little toddlers that blame their problems on everybody else. And to the right of me, I got a bunch of greedy, psycho, power-hungry idiots. And I'm here in the center, and I get to be everyone's asshole.